Thief caught on camera burglarizing Miami shoe store leaves with 20 left sneakers. Now,
NANI? Dynamite!
into the things we forgot to tell you last week. It's the segment of the show where I tell you guys stories you probably didn't know about last week, and we go from there. We'll make a scene out of it. First story off top. Nebraska senator says he is sorry for saying schools offered litter boxes to furries. This is sort of like, this is like what we've come to, right? Because we refuse to acknowledge leadership, or because the Republican Party doesn't have anything of substance past just fear mongering. They do stuff like this. They say stuff like, "Oh, first it was this all branches and breeds from transphobia. Oh, interchangeable bathrooms. They scares them, and now it's the CRT." But people are getting off of that. There was even some people that flat out said, "Well, if they want to read a book, at least that's better than them not reading a book." And some people are like, it's crazy to see the lengths people will go to try and make an argument for this whole these Republicans. But at the same time, the fact that they're just making flat out lies. For all you guys that don't know, furries are a community, mostly adults. That's the thing, because they're adults who wear, basically the easiest way to describe it is mascot outfits. They're anthropomorphic type of animal outfits. There's nothing traditionally sexual about them. It's just a community. If you really wanted to peg it as anything, it'd be a community of adults who just like wearing mascot outfits and talking amongst themselves. They have small knit community. I don't even think it's that small. It's fairly nuanced to me. But this was a rumor brought up on Facebook, and this lawmaker couldn't help himself. So now he's backtracking, talking about, oh man, I wonder if they actually have it. Wow, if they have it, this is gonna be hilarious.
Crawford's study is online if you want to find it.
This is way too fucking long. It's 14 minutes, but it's somewhere in there. I'll probably put the link in the video when this goes public. But it's just mindless. So he accused them of basically schools in the district letting kids take a dump inside of litter boxes and bathrooms. And he was just like, is this what our taxpayer? But it was a lie formed out of Facebook, because a security guard at one of these functions, who was a security guard for these functions, did this. But this is all bred out of homophobia and things of that nature. So shame on this guy in Nebraska. Missed nothing about it. But there is an interesting take here. So Bill's Stadium deal blasted by social media over steep taxpayer subsidies. So for all y'all don't know, the Bills, the NFL team, the Bills, they're owned by a $6.3 billion oil tycoon, and they just they're getting a new stadium in the New York Providence, I believe. And it's just crazy to think that they are getting a subsidies of nearly $850 million. But in the same breath, they are having schools lose funding. They have children's tax credits being lost. They have a bunch of tax breaks for social community type things for people that would affect people that look like me. They're getting tax breaks now. So let's talk about some of these things. Buffalo News Reese fine print found full taxpayer price tag for new Buffalo Bills stadium, including ongoing maintenance, $1.13 billion for ongoing, because this is a contract for 30 years. It's a bad deal, pretty much. Kathy Holchich, I'm assuming is the governor, who got ripped off by the pegless lawmakers, should say no. So maybe has this gone through? What a waste. No, this has gone through. What a waste. Taxpayers get almost no benefits from stadium, yet almost always get stuck for them. Yep. There was people talking about how They got potholes. They have potholes in the road leading up to this stadium. Like the roads that they're going to be using to get materials to the stadium are damaged beyond repair almost. But they got money for this. 600 million from the state taxpayers for the new stadium is flipping outrageous. So these are remarks and feedback from like people who live in the area. So it's just another thing that, like, I don't know how you make light of this, but as a NFL player or NFL like person in the area, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how these rich people come in and make rich people requests of poor people. But so is life. Breaking, in a weird, not even weird, but it's weird based on the timeline we're living in right now. Utah legislator overrides Governor Cox's veto of anti-trans sports ban. So this is kind of interesting from the standpoint that it says today Utah House Senate overrode. Okay, so what the purpose of me first wanting to tell the story was the governor Spencer Cox vetoed the House Bill 11 that would ban trans athletes from competing in sports or something of that nature. It was some transphobic bill, and it begged the question. In the state, I believe there was only 4 like trans athletes, and to make a whole entire bill surrounded around 4 trans athletes just really didn't sing in this Governor Spencer's heart. Governor Spencer Cox. So he vetoed that bill, and he had a very interesting statement, something along the lines of the 138,000 children in sports, collegiate sports within Utah. 4 student athletes shouldn't garner so much fear and hate. And I think that was just a really well way put. But our government is balanced on 3s, and the Senate is now vetoing that veto. A bill banning transgender students from participating in school sports consistent with their gender identity. HB House Bill 11 was hastily pushed through the Senate and heavily amended on the last night of Utah's legislative session, with members of leadership in both houses voting against or not voting. In a letter explaining his veto, cited high school suicide rates amongst transgender youth, added that there are only 4 transgender students playing high school sports in Utah and only 1 playing girls sports. That's crazy. So this is a lot of drummed up fear and hate. You can't really explain this. Like it's surreal that this is even a thing. But apparently the Utah legislator is going to revoke this and push for it. Despite opposition from his own governor, Utah legislator continues to attack transgender children, furthering the state is opening itself up to legal challenge, as have followed similar laws in other states. Yeah, this is just a waste of taxpayer money. So it's just a bunch of bigotry wrapped up in more bigotry. But a Republican governor in Utah at that, stepping up and doing the right thing just to have the offices below him challenge him is kind of ridiculous. I guess the war in Ukraine is still going. Why do I have this up? Did I have a topic for this? Proposed to girlfriend and gotten engaged. I don't know why I have this up, but okay. What was I? Family friend killed in Shelling days after getting engaged. Oh, I guess this was supposed to be sad story, but I don't even remember putting this in here. I know I had a story about Ukraine, but it had to do with Hampton. Is that story missing? Nope, it's right there. Okay, well, I don't know what this is for. War is bad, if that's what you wanted to hear me say. Wait, what am I looking for? Okay. All right. Three PA officers fired in shooting of death of 8-year-old girl. Officers had been returning a suspect gunfire in the direction of football game, crowded and struck bystanders. Like this is that hypocrisy I be talking about. They're so not about protecting the public. They went into a situation, created an altercation, regardless of whether the guy you see you need and want, if the situation doesn't dictate it, you can't engage in that situation. Basically, they were trying to track down a suspect. In the amounts of them approaching and trying to apprehend him, a gun shootout started. It's expected for the bad guys in this situation to do bad things. But when the good guy then returns fire, you look just as bad as the bad guy. So that makes you just as bad. They fired these guys, but I'm pretty sure they're going to file a claim and force their way back onto the force just so they can continue to brutalize people. It's the real victim of the story is the 8-year-old girl in the family that has lost the potential future. This is an interesting story. An ex-Vanderbilt nurse found guilty of a lesser charge in patient death case. I will say this. It's something about girls who put purple dye in their hair that just rubs me the wrong way. Okay? I'm just going to say that.
Oh, yeah!
Like, they just make me feel like,
Fuck your life!
It's not 0 out of 10. I wouldn't buy it. Like, it's just weird to me to see it, but that's just what I'm saying, okay? Like, I'm sure there's some fine ones in the group, but when I see the purple hair, I immediately get nervous. A jury found Redonda Volt, a former nurse, guilty of criminal negligence in homicide in the death of patient who was accidentally given wrong medication. She was also found guilty of gross negligence of an impaired adult. And I think that's where this all stems from. A lot of people are hearing this story and saying something along the lines of, oh my God, because to be honest, I don't know the full story, but when I saw impaired, that means for any like regardless of if it was drug induced or fatigue, that is not an excuse of ignorance of law. If you tell an officer, if you get pro tip, if you tell an officer who pulls you over, if he says, hey, if you had too much to drink, and you say no, and then he says, long night, you've been driving for a long time, you're kind of tired, and you say, yeah, I feel a little tired. That's just like you saying that you're drunk. Being impaired is being impaired. To which degree and degree, that's dependent on what the court and what your state bylaws, but it's just another talking point that they like to use. Was working at Vanderbilt University Medical, was supposed to give a 75-year-old patient from Gallatin the sedative or said to calm her down before image procedure, but she was told investigators the electronic medicine cabinet wouldn't give her the medication, which she later found out should have been searching for under a generic name, midazolam. Instead, she retrieved and injected it. Okay, I have no sympathy for this, because this is all this is human comprehension. If you read, like, at least in my profession, when I'm giving drugs, all my drugs are pre-measured beforehand, and they're checked. So in this situation, to see that, like, it's hard for me to have sympathy for this. That's just simple reading. One less bad person, and like, she's not a good nurse. Regardless of how you feel about it, she's not a good nurse. Hampton University is an HBCU, right? Is this true? Let me see. University and HBCU. And is a privately historically back. Okay, yeah, it's an HBCU. Privately owned at that. Oh, they got good money. Clap it. Okay. Big money over there. We got big money over there. As you can probably imagine, though, to my disbelief, Hampton University offers free room board tuition to over 50 Ukraine students.
Damn.
That's crazy. That's like legitimately crazy because last I checked, we still got our own people to worry about, right? Right? Like we out here, that's 50 scholarships and 50 whatever you could have given to a black person in a country that already made it difficult for black people to get up in the world. You gonna give money to a European nation that won't have any trouble, that isn't having any trouble getting sympathy from the world. There's still black and brown people suffering today that you ain't offering. Afghanistan, people who have nothing to do with the war or Taliban, they can't go to school right now. What about those girls that can't go to school no more in Afghanistan? How about giving them scholarships? How about flying them over? This is mindless. And this is that part of me that says, like, you know, certain black folks just, like, they don't get how they're hurting the movement or hurting black people by focusing on things that have nothing to do with it. Just mind your business. It's weird. It's weird. Hey, remember when I was saying cops are shit? Man disarms gunman in Brawl, then gets shot by police, California cops say. 20-year-old man snatched a handgun from another man in an early morning brawl inside of a San Jose. What is this? I'm assuming that's a restaurant. As the fight spilled onto onto a Verdana, California police said. But police outside responding to the reports of an armed assault assailant in the restaurant didn't know that Chef Anthony Mata said at a news conference about the incident Sunday, March 27th, according to KNTV. This is such a weirdly written article. Didn't know that. And then it just okay, so this should be a period. I get it. Okay. Officers gave repeated commands to drop the gun, Mata said, according to the station. When the man failed to do so, one officer opened fire, hitting him 3 times. What? Green, a football player for Contra Coast Community College, was hit in the arm, abdomen, and leg. Attorney Pointer told KTV he's expected to recover and he goes and does not face any charges. Pointer said Green, who he described as a hero, wasn't given enough time to react, which is so true. We learned that very clearly when dealing with Amir Locke, from the point of entry to the point of kicking him out, of his bed on the couch. Not even 1.7 seconds before they shot him. To drop the gun before they opened fire, according to the station. He was never given the time to recognize the police. Pointer told KTV he was never given the time to drop the gun. So, yeah, cops, come in. Because you know what the Republican Party would always say, you know, if you want to stop a bad guy with a gun, just get a good guy with a gun. But I'm here to tell you, if you're black, you can never be a good guy with a gun. You can never be a good guy with a gun. If I ever disarmed a gunman in public, if I don't put that gunman, that attempted gunman down, once I get that person secured, I'm giving the gun to a white person, and I'm leaving. What do I have to be there for? I don't need no recognition. Black people, if your life isn't in immediate danger, don't do this. There's no such thing as a black good guy with a gun. Not in America. Video audience sign applauds for deaf actor Troy Kotsur. What's it? How do you say his name? Said his name. Kotsur. After winning Best Supporting Actor. So I guess he's deaf, and the audience signed for him. Let me see. Oh, that is nice. Look. Hold on. Watch this. There's always a few people who just don't understand. Look, this guy. Still clapping. This guy. Oh, white people just don't change. It's hilarious. They can't help themselves. This person clapping. This person clapping. It's just weird. Is that Will? Will's clapping. Jada ain't clapping. You always find a few people. So I guess that's pretty cool. That's awesome. I have to throw it on the things that happened during the motherfucking Oscars that should have been the highlight of the night, but was deafened by the slap heard across the world. I need to update my ad blocker. Male birth control pills expected to start human trials this year. This is interesting because you would think saying like this is interesting on two levels. One, if oh man, because the opportunity for this to really, like, America is I'm constantly trying to think of a way to like control people's bodies, and there was a part of me that believed for a second, like, this has to do with this isn't gonna fly because population and stuff like this. But if you do this, I would do this. Maybe not now, because I would do this after I had my first kid, and I guarantee, I would totally do this after I had my first kid. Give it a year or two, make sure ain't nobody out here giving birth to metahumans, but I would do this, and this would drive the population down because, guys, I feel like guys would be way more responsible taking this medication than this. But then again, we couldn't get people to take a shot that killed 1 million people in America, so maybe this won't work. I give the human population too much credit, but this is very interesting to me. That this is, and I'm very curious to see how the whole what is going on? It's very interesting to see how this whole thing will play out because the church is super against birth control because but is it just strictly women? If this comes out and there's no pushback from any of those right-leaning fulfillment life thing people, it's just further proof that women are being targeted specifically for control of their body and because of male patriarchy in this country and white supremacy. Call it what it is. But interested nonetheless because I think it could do. I think it's warranted. It would make me more comfortable having unprotected sex. I mean, I choose my partner wisely, but you can choose a partner wisely as much as you want. Testing can tell you if they have a STD or not, but there's no way to guarantee not having a kid by just not having sex. So it's interesting. Tornado hits home a Florida GOP lawmaker who authored "Don't Say Gay" bill, and Twitter has thoughts. Yeah, God don't like ugly, and he a ugly motherfucker. State Rep Joe Harding, gross. Oh, this is his house? Oh, that's awesome. You love to see it. The GQP sponsor, I'm assuming he meant GOP. Author of Florida homophobic, bigoted, "Don't Say Gay" or trans bill named Joe Harding has had his house destroyed in tornado in Osceola. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Get wrecked. Yeah, I'm for it. God don't like ugly. Apparently he don't like you either. Meet bike man who brought the trucker convoy to a crawl. Oh, this is great. Oh yeah, this dude rode his bike in front of the truck convoy. And people are just there. awesome. I could watch that all day. He is a national treasure and we must protect him. Oh yeah, this was a great story. Paralyzed man's first words after being paralyzed for like 6 months. He was basically trapped in his body, locked in the ALS patient. His first words is to the caregivers is he wanted a beer and he wanted to listen to the newest Tool soundtrack as loud as possible. It takes him like 5 minutes to say one word. So the fact that beer was his first word is one, amazing. Two, y'all better have gave him that goddamn beer. Y'all better have gave that man his goddamn beer. Because being trapped in your body and basically relying on people to communicate for you has to be nightmarish. So good on this dude. Thief caught on camera burglarizing Miami shoe store leaves with 20 left sneakers. Now, oh man, this takes me back to a story that happened in my old mall, where like all those shoe stores were owned by the same person. So if he took 20 left shoes and put them on display, he would just put the 20 remaining right shoes in display in another store. And it's crazy to me that this dude who stole all these shoes, like it didn't dawn on, like, well, I guess criminals are dumb, and this is like further proof of it, like dumb beyond reproach for that matter. So I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to enjoy this. Hopefully he gets caught, or you don't know, like, if you are homeless, like, do something good with those 20 left shoes. Just don't throw them away or keep them locked in. Like, go donate them and be like, somebody can use at least one shoe. If one of your shoes messed up, you can have a really nice shoe and a really okay shoe. But this guy's an idiot. Woman hospitalized after she refuses to fart in front of her boyfriend. This happened in Brazil. This is her name. She's a singer. She's famous. A singer from Brazil. What does it say this? Hold on. How you say this?
Vivian de Queiroz Pereira.
Oh man, she got one of them names. But Vivian basically held in all her farts because she didn't want to do it in front of her boyfriend. I just got questions. Oh, she cute. I just got questions. One, why can't you fart in front of your boyfriend? Like, what do you be eating that you can't fart in front of your boyfriend? Like, did you fart in front of your boyfriend and whatever he smelled, he was like, if you ever do that again, I'm breaking up with you, and like you were just traumatized by that? Did that affect you? I got questions. Like, because I feel like you too fine to be like broken up with over a fart. Furthermore, I'm farting around my girl. I don't give a damn. Yeah. Smell that. That's passion. But you could have gone to another room, which is what I'd probably done if I was in the bed. There's so many things you could have done other than holding it in. Furthermore, when you go to, so does she also not take a shit? She would, if you're afraid to fart in front of your boyfriend, you're probably afraid to take a shit too. And if y'all living together, because if you take a shit, that fart will come out. So she probably wasn't shitting or nothing. That's wild. Ladies, stop doing this, ladies. Leave that man if he won't smell your fart, okay? Clap it. If he's not gonna smell your fart, leave it. If when he says, if he don't say shit like, sit on my face, and if you let out a little fart and he's like, get off my face, that's the least of your concerns, lady. He's not the one. He's not the one for you. Find you a better seat. And in other news, let's let them have it.
Day, and it was funny, just not the way anybody expected. At the time, hold school picture day on St. Patrick's Day, and it was funny, just not the way anybody expected. These are photos of the kids at Sugar Grove Elementary in Indiana. The problem, the pictures were shot with a green screen background, like they use for special effects in movies, or like Dallas and Danny use for the weather. Oh, man. And because of a St. Patrick's Day, a lot of the kids were wearing green, so this is how the pictures turned out. Whatever was in the background ended up on the kids.
It was kind of hard to explain to him what was happening because he's 6, but as soon as he saw all the different options, he was just laughing because it looks like, you know, he's a fence or it looks like he's a field. So he thought it was really funny.
This would be I'd want to do this on purpose.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Everybody seemed to get a kick out of it. The principal sent a message home to parents, don't worry, the photography studio can fix this in post-production. Some of the parents, though, say they kind of like the green screen photos so much they want copies of those, too.
Yeah, of course they do.
There's a part of me that wants to laugh, but I'm not entertained. But I'm a little entertained. I'm more like, what type of photographer was this? Like, he didn't put 2 and 2 together. Like, my background, y'all don't see it, but like, I have a green screen that I can put up anytime I want. And even I'm conscious, like, I couldn't wear this shirt and be on that green screen because the little parts of the fist and probably like the edges would blend in. It's very weird, very weird. Like, the photographer himself didn't notice that or catch on with that, but you know, there it is. That's how we have it. Clap it. What's gonna do that? Go here. Hey, we made it to the end of the show, or that segment of the show. The things we forgot to tell you, the things I forgot to tell you last week. If there's something that you felt I forgot to tell you, let me know. Put it in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in like 30.